Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Grunge Bible Podcast. Episode 32 is coming to you today. My name is Chris Salona, and I am joined by Ethan Shalloway, as usual. Ethan, what's going on? It's check-in time, finally.
The weekly check-in has arrived. I'm happy for it. You know, I was just thinking, you think we'll ever get to a point, like, why do we even say the episode number when we introduce the podcast?
I don't know. People see it when they click on it, but
yeah, people see it. Do other podcasts say what number they're on? Is that just for us?
I listen to some podcasts that do. It's super redundant, but I feel like it's one of those things that you see everybody else doing, so you assume you have to do it without ever thinking about if it's necessary or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a little boost. Be like, yeah, all right, 32.
We're
still
makes
rolling.
Me feel good. Yeah, I guess we're in too deep now to change, because God forbid you ever change anything, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely go to a year, 52 weeks. But anyway, I'm doing okay, Chris. You know, it's Monday, which is a great opportunity to have a great week. Just getting over some difficulties with my eyes, as you know, they're sewn shut.
Yeah, man.
But other than that, I had a pretty good weekend watching sports and hanging low. How are you doing today on this Monday?
Pretty good. So I'll tell you, last night was the first night in probably 2 to 3 weeks that I actually got an adequate amount of sleep. And I feel immaculate today. It's great. It's really nice. Like I think I got about seven hours, which for me is, I'm in the positive then, because usually I linger around 6 or 5.5 because I'm not taking care of myself. But no, it was good. It was a good bookend to the weekend. I spent some time with friends. I went on a date and I watched a lot of football. So things aren't too bad. So we're hanging in there, and
nice.
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday. The episode will come out at the end of the week. So what could be better than that? Nice.
You went on a date. That's awesome.
I did. Yeah, that was we'll have to discuss that one off the air. We're on the air.
Great.
Maybe we could get a group decision, maybe some group think going on.
Yeah, so I bet you that everybody's really interested in that stuff. That listens.
That's super riveting content, and it has a lot to do with grunge rock.
That's great. Well, what do we have on the docket for today? For this
There's no appeal
episode?
On the docket today. No, actually, it's been a little while since we've done this, so we opened up the forum today for a little question and answer session. So this morning we solicited the fine folks of Instagram for all of their burning questions about Grunge Bible and the relative and adjacent entities. So we're going to go through some questions today.
That's awesome. That is going to be fun. I love when we field questions from the people. What's the temperature for you right now in the Rhode Island area? My temperature just got pretty cool. I wanted to bring that up. I think this weekend was the first weekend I felt fall in full force, which I just think is worth noting.
Yeah, I'd say the same for me. Last night I actually got down into the 40s for the first time. So I think right now it's maybe hovering around 60, but I mean, all the leaves look real nice. And it was nice yesterday. I was in the car, around maybe 7 in the morning when the sun's really starting to rise above the horizon and it just hits all the trees and everything. And I mean, you grew up in Pennsylvania, when the lights, when the sun's reflecting off the leaves. So that was super nice. I'm not looking forward to the impending winter. I'm not a winter guy, so hold on to the fall.
Yeah, speaking of, since I've lived in Alabama, there's a lot of pine trees, and then the summer lasts so long into the fall that all of a sudden all the good leaves, they don't really change colors, they just fall off. So I don't really get you don't get the foliage that the Northeast does that really hangs on, especially closer to you, So it kind of stinks that I feel like the trees just all of a sudden get bare, and then the pines are still around. But
yeah,
either way, the weather is hopefully going to be great for the next couple weeks before it gets too cold.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing we can do about the passage of time. It'll keep on rolling. So we'll just enjoy it while we're here. But with this Q&A, as usual, this Q&A is brought to you by some very special people. As everybody knows well now, this podcast is brought to you by our top-level Patreon supporters, and that club, as usual, is consisting of these fine individuals, and they are Shannon Gorgone, Sonny Mashburn, Victor Schaefer, Jade Mercado, Alexis Shannon, Release, Sue, Kayla Jean, Lauren Irene, Marianne, and Jamie Lynn. So once again, we are grateful to be in your virtual presence, in your ears, on the go, on your screens, wherever it is. So we are indebted to you as usual.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, as always. love taking time to thank the supporters. You guys mean a lot to us, and I'm sure we'll come back to that later. We can speak a little bit more on it, but let's get to some questions, Chris. I'm kind of dying to answer some random questions from the people. I don't know why.
We've got some good ones to get going. So
yeah, I'm hoping that Nickelback will be involved. I'm hoping that Creed will be involved.
It always makes an appearance here and there. But we're going to lead off with something that is, I think, fundamentally very important. And I think you can glean a lot about someone's personality based off of this decision. So we got a question wanting to know whether Grunge Bible believes in cereal before milk, or do you put the milk in and then the cereal? And there is a correct answer for this, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna try and zag on this one and act like
you can't. No, you can't be a contrarian for this.
I'm not gonna act like I've actually done it. So I put my cereal in the bowl like everybody else, and I pour the milk over top, and there's no other way to do it. Otherwise, you're probably gonna waste milk. Exactly,
and additionally too, I wholeheartedly agree. And then on the off chance, you follow that process through, and then you finish your cereal, and then you're like, kind of want some more cereal, so you just put some cereal on top. It's not the same. It tastes fundamentally different.
That's true. I guess at the end, you do, when you finish your first bowl, if you want more,
you're want more. It's just not the same. The equilibrium is all off.
But I didn't realize that you do put your cereal into the milk at the end if you're going
that
for bowl two. That is
the only circumstance in which that is an acceptable thing to do.
Wow. I feel like I just caught myself. I said I never have done that, but I've clearly done it. The second,
but you definitely get a pass on that type of thing though, because it's situation based.
I don't know.
Are you think maybe you have to finish drinking the milk and then start from a clean slate, or just get a new bowl? Like, is that bowl finished when the cereal's gone?
Dude, I don't know. I feel like a liar. I don't know what to believe anymore.
It's been a while since I've had seconds for cereal, so I don't really know.
When's the best time to eat cereal, Chris?
Lately, I've been on a cereal at night kick. Like, I'll eat my dinner at like 6:30, and yes. I'll be like, I've been trying to go to bed at like 10:30, 11. Like 9:45 will roll around, and I'm watching something on TV, or like I'm working for the page late, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have some cereal. And
midnight cereal
you can delete a box in 2 days if you're not careful, though.
Midnight cereal is the best. I think
it's always there too. I mean, you're not gonna not have cereal in the house.
What do you eat? What's your cereal choice?
Oh, so lately, for the past couple of years, Kashi has this like chocolate cereal. They have a chocolate and a peanut butter one, which I usually alternate back and forth. Sometimes I'll just put it in the cup and pretend that it's granola, and do it that way. But it's been a long time since I've actually purchased a junk cereal for myself. But back in the day, like Reese's Puffs, Oreo O's, Cookie Crisp. Oh yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, it's a classic,
Yeah. I'm a big Cheerio guy. I like plain Cheerios, not even like Honey Nut. I don't really like them. I'm just like a plain Cheerio guy. Smart Start's good. So, yeah. Cocoa Puffs, though, are so good.
Here's an offshoot, and we're gonna get apparently deep into the cereal. But if each of the big four grunge bands were a cereal, we need to figure this out. Which cereal
I love bringing
would they
these
be?
in. Yeah, I love bringing these in. All right, so Pearl Jam. Let's see. Pearl Jam's a little lighter, a little consistent. Pearl Jam. I don't know. That could be Honey Nut Cheerios.
I was gonna say Honey Nut Cheerios. They're like, always there.
It's not quite regular Cheerios. Like, they have their thing, and it's Honey Nut.
Yeah, and they're an institution too. I mean, they're recognizable. They've been there forever. You can find them in every supermarket. Yeah. I think Pearl Jam are Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay, where's Soundgarden lie?
Oh, that's tough.
Lucky Charms, dude. Maybe.
Maybe. Honestly, that might not. That's not bad. It could be Lucky Charms. Maybe Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm trying to think if there's like something. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Nirvana.
Well, it depends on who you're asking, I guess. You know, I mean, there's probably some people out there who thinks Nirvana is like Chex Mix or Rice Chex, whatever it's
Raisin
called.
Bran.
Raisin Bran, all bran.
Damn. All right, and then Alice in Chains. Could we throw something in there? Maybe. Oh man, I'm having.
Is there a cereal where like there are multiple components of it that don't really make sense, but when you put them together, it's great? Because I mean, that's what I think about with like Jerry and Lane and their voices together. So, but like maybe it's a mixture. You know, if maybe you wanted to.
Oh yeah, when people split
like,
cereals, I've
like
done
Reese's
that.
Puffs and Cocoa Puffs together or something like that. I don't know.
I've definitely done like Wheaties plus like any other soup. Really, yeah. I usually put Cheerios or something, or Wheaties plus like chocolate or Cocoa Puffs. So maybe it's a combination, but I don't know. That's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to attach cereals to grunge bands, but
yeah,
we
that's a
tried.
difficult exercise. We're gonna get back to the cereal in a second, but here's a really good question. I know we both have a lot of experience in this realm. Making these types of decisions, and it's something that we're passionate about. But question that we got: what is the best song to use to get a party going?
Ooh, like to get a party, as in
like a gathering of
like
friends,
and any party.
Any party. And that's the thing, because you could go in a lot of different directions for what the tempo you want, for the night to be.
Yeah, there's a few that come to mind. The Boys Are Back by Thin Lizzy's really good.
That's what I was going to say,
I mean, that one hardly ever misses. I feel like, it's kind of lame, but people really like singing Don't Stop Believin'. I wouldn't really put that on.
I fucking hate that song.
Yeah, I think everybody does. Mr. Brightside by The Killers, a certain group of people. But if
All
you're
the
talking
Small
about
Things
me,
by Blink-182 could be in there too.
If you're talking about getting a party going with me and Chris and a few of our closest friends, there's only one genre that can be played that'll really get the sing along going.
Absolutely.
And those are the sea shanties.
The sea shanties. Set sail with us, man. And I kind of feel a little jaded because we were doing the sea shanties long ago. And do you remember, what was it, last year there was like a thing on Instagram where sea shanties gained quite a bit of popularity.
Yeah.
But like I feel like that was completely stolen from us. I felt a little offended when that happened, because we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 7 years since we did it in
and the best
the
thing is
of Pittsburgh.
the sheet. It was there was a song called Mary Mac by Hair of the Dog, and then there was an Assassin's Creed song called Randy Dandio that we used to get fired up to at the beginning of the night.
And of course, Leave Her Johnny at the end of the night. Leave Her Johnny,
that's always got to be the last song.
Randy
that comes
Dandy
on.
was great.
But,
Sea Shanty was. I mean, those are.
Yeah, and another one too, a dark horse in my opinion.
Have you? Go ahead.
Would be Going Up the Country by Canned Heat. That could get things moving a little bit.
That is amazing. That's a good one. I will admit, though, I've played some sea shanties at the wrong party and been totally like looked at.
You've been mystified. Yeah, they just don't get it.
They looked at me and they were like, "Please change this," and I'm like singing along and trying to get everybody to sing. I'm like, "It's really easy. It's really easy. It's only like 10 words." But
absolutely. So we have another one here. Who is your favorite non-grunge musician?
Favorite's a tough word to kind of come by. Let's see.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily know that I would have one.
Yeah, I would say that someone that I listen to often when I don't know what to listen to, I listen to Kurt Weill a lot. I think that he's a great songwriter, and he does some really good stuff with people that I also like to listen to. So yeah, I'll throw out Kurt Weill for this one. For today.
Yeah, it's always such a difficult decision, non-grunge. But lately, for some reason, I've never been a big Rolling Stones guy, but I've been listening to the Stones quite a bit. I was driving and I listened to Sticky Fingers front to back yesterday, as well as Exile on Main Street. So I guess, something that I'm into right now, but I would certainly never consider the Rolling Stones to be my favorite.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
No, it's so weird because like with a band like the Stones, they're so like everybody knows who they are, that like when I think about them, I don't think that they have like a cult type following, but there's definitely people who get into the Stones the way that other people get into like the Grateful Dead, for example.
I just had someone message me and say that the Stones are playing in Nashville, and he invited me to come up and watch.
Really?
And I was really thrown off, and I was like, I never expected this text, and I was like, are you sure? And he's like, well, I just wanted to see it. It's like, I thought it would be funny to see some old guys, playing off of some leftover cocaine in their necks.
It's so funny because they're on their big U.S. tour right now, and I know some people that saw them in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. But a couple of weeks back, I was visiting my brother in North Carolina, and I flew in the night that the Stones were playing in Charlotte. And or maybe the night before, but I was there. I didn't end up going to the show because we had other things to do, and I just really, I don't have that big of an itch to see the Stones live. I feel like I missed the boat on that. But the funny story was, I guess the night before the show, Mick Jagger was like going out to a couple of different bars in Charlotte, and nobody noticed him. And then he posted on his Twitter, he was like out and about in Charlotte, and it was a picture of him in front of this bar, and nobody recognized him at the bar apparently. And then there was some music reporter from one of the stereotypical music reporting outlets did like an investigative report into it, and like they interviewed people who were there, and they're like, yeah, I had no idea it was him. Like I didn't recognize him, or I didn't notice it. And
that's amazing.
That's like another question. If you saw a musician or a public figure or somebody that you really admired out, and they were just kind of minding their own business, would you go up to them, or would you try to talk to them? Would you ask for a picture, autograph? Like what type of tempo would you take to that interaction?
Mm-hmm. I think that really depends on who it is and how they mean to me. If I saw Mick Jagger, I would let him go. I would let him go on his...
You saw Les Claypool, though.
Yeah. If I saw... Or Maynard or
yeah, it'd totally be different.
Yeah, I think that... I mean... Yeah, I would definitely survey the situation. I've been in situations where I've seen pretty, like, high caliber people, and I haven't said anything because they're just... there's just no reason for me to to go over there and stuff. So, I don't know. It really depends on the person. I think that I would always side on, go on the side of caution and probably like just say like, hey, I'm a really big fan. Like keep doing what you're doing. Maybe get a fist pump or something like that. But I think there's a story. I think I read something about like someone ran into Dave Grohl in the in New York and at the what's the big park in New York?
Central Park?
Yeah, Central Park. I was like
it's like the most generic name for a park ever.
They ran in. Oh no, it was my friend Connor's dad, Doug Endy, who's seen a bunch of stuff, and he was with his daughter, and like he saw Dave Grohl with his family, and he was like we've seen him like 4 times, and he went up and he was just like, he like gave him a fist pump, and he was just like enjoy the time with your family or something like that. Yeah. And it was like super. He's like that's all I did, and it was awesome. I think I'd want to shoot for that approach for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think there's some people that if I were to see them and it was the correct social situation, I think I would ask for a picture. But like, like the token, you see someone eating out, and you don't go up to someone's table and talk to them. You don't.
No.
If somebody's like in a secluded area or in a position where you wouldn't want someone to come up to you, it's like you don't go up to them. And
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see someone from across the room and like start snapping pictures that they can see. Like if you just don't do that. But I would definitely agree. Like the same thing. If I were to see somebody and wanted to approach them, I would just be like, hey, like, thanks, hope you're having a good day or something along those lines, just because I don't know, it would probably become pretty cumbersome to be, enveloped with, a life story about how impactful they've been. And I'm sure they appreciate it, but, it takes time, and it could be a heavy thing, and, maybe they're just trying to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I keep it pretty low, but yeah, good question.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then another one that we have is we were asked to rate the Pearl Jam drummers through the years. So I guess if we start with Dave Cruzen, Dave Abruzzese, Jack Irons, and Matt Cameron.
All right. Well,
we know Grunge Bible's official stance on this.
Yeah, they're all They're all great.
They're all fantastic, and
they're all fantastic. It's hard to pick.
Yes,
but if we had to, it depends. It depends if you want what's best for the band or if you want what's best for the crowd. I'm partial to. I like Abruzzes' style of drumming a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's a secret between.
No, I don't think it's a secret for really any Pearl Jam fan. I will say, you know, my favorite live era of Pearl Jam is 93 and 94, the Versus tour. So that pretty much answers it for me. It's definitely got to be Dave. But I mean, he was only in the band for, you know, he only performed 2 albums worth of material, and they've got 9 more albums. So, you know, I think I always tend to forget that Jack Irons was in Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
But I do think people slander Matt Cameron, and it's one of those things where they want to recognize the talent that Abruzzes has, but they can't help themselves from, you know, digging at Matt for that. But I mean, fuck, man, you watch Matt Cameron drumming with Soundgarden. Like, people are like, oh, he doesn't know how to drum hard. Like, have you ever heard him play with Soundgarden?
Right.
You know, he doesn't fit into. And I also think, like, if Pearl Jam were conducting themselves on stage and playing the same way now that they played when they were in their late 20s, it would kind of feel a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, I mean, they're in their mid 50s now.
What if it was switched and like Matt Cameron started with them and then like Dave Abruzzes was still playing? Like, how do you think that he would fit in with everybody?
That would be interesting, because I mean, like, they did remove Dave from the band because they had a lot of disagreements with him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think
guess
that
it's hard
would
to
be
say that it
the
would
biggest
work.
obstacle. You know. Here's another grunge related one that we have. Who shreds the hardest out of the grunge guitarists?
For shredding, probably Kim.
It's hard because I think shred can mean a lot of things, but it's got to be Kim Thayil in my opinion.
If we're talking about shreds, I mean, probably Kim. But who are some of the? I mean, we there's no secret that we love Jerry's guitar work.
Yeah, but like I think of Jerry for his riffs, you know, and I think of Kim because he can shred, and I think of Mark because of his licks.
What about Kurt's shredding?
Kurt was shredding on the guitar with his solos. Oh man. No, that's
a good way to put it though. The shreds, licks, and riffs.
Yeah,
and then power chords.
Yeah, and then power chords for Kurt. That's basically what it comes down to. So
I think that they're all very, obviously they're all awesome,
and they all have their place. But
we've talked about McCready's work on stage. We've really I would really love to see the other guys on stage. Obviously, I think Jerry has some unbelievable, like, I don't know, it just comes so easy. He's just so smooth in the way that he plays, which I love. Yeah. They all are, obviously, but Jerry's got a real good touch to it.
Yeah, he certainly does. The interesting thing about this Q&A is we have an overwhelming number of questions that are related to food. So another one that we have is what is our favorite candy? Are you a candy guy?
I'm not. In the sense, I mean, I will eat candy, but I always say that I don't have someone pulled my sweet tooth and added a fatty, salty tooth. So like, if you give me a choice of like, you know, Reese's Pieces or like French fries, I'm gonna go French fries every time. Like I love like greasy, fatty before, like if I'm gonna eat unhealthy. But as far as candy, I really do like chocolate peanut butter stuff. Mm-hmm. I do like chocolate mint stuff. Yeah. And then I do like, I mean, ice cream is not really candy, but those are the ones that I usually will splurge on. Actually, it's a whole different realm. I was thinking about desserts. I was thinking about like pies and stuff, but I mean,
it's a class all its own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get into the traditional candies all that much, I guess. How about you?
Yeah. I'm kind of the opposite, where I guess they may have removed yours and put it, you know, into my mouth because for some reason, like as soon as I don't know, turned 20 or like was in college, I love candy. So like I can't buy it for myself since it goes away. I would say if I had a favorite, it's got to be chocolate covered pretzels or milk chocolate or dark chocolate. I don't fuck with the white chocolate covered pretzels or the yogurt covered ones. That doesn't do it for me.
So you think that, is that candy? Chocolate covered pretzels?
I mean, I think so. It's like a candy snack. I mean, pie's not, but like, where's the line though? You know?
Yeah, I guess there's hard candy. Like I always just think about, when I think of candy, I think of like, you know, Jolly Ranchers or like Nerds and that, like harder candy. But I guess I mean
like sweet
Reese's,
and not chocolatey.
But like Snickers, that's candy. It just seems like it's just chocolate in a way. But
is what it is. So this next question kind of ties into this. What would Chris Cornell's go-to gas station snack be? I think it would have to be something like hot fries or something, or Takis, or maybe he was like a Funyuns guy. I don't know. I just picture some sort of bag of something.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I don't think he would be a sunflower seeds guy, though.
No,
I don't like sunflower seeds guys.
No, you don't.
No, I can never get into it. I just think it's unnecessary. Like if you're gonna do that, like just just chew tobacco instead.
I could definitely see Chris walking out with a big bag and just like throwing his hand in there and grabbing something. I feel like Jerry, every time he goes to the gas station, he gets a cup of coffee, like a black cup. Like on the tour, he just gets black coffee. Like, Jerry, you want anything? It's like, just coffee for me.
Yeah, just
Thanks.
coffee.
What about what about Eddie? What do you think he gets? He might be.
Well, I think Eddie still smokes cigarettes, so it's probably like a coffee and a cigarette.
I was gonna say he's probably a sunflower guy.
I could see him being like a little like a breakfast pastry type scenario going on.
Who is the biggest sweet tooth out of all those guys?
Oh man, it's gonna be someone random like Stone or something.
Yeah. I was gonna say Stone got
maybe
like
Sean Kenny
another
from
honey
Alice.
bun.
I don't know.
Another honey bun, dude.
Get the big honey bun coming out.
Oh man.
Yeah. So this next one, so we have an episode dedicated to this, but that episode was 6 months ago at this point, so maybe our feelings have changed. But and it's also always good, just to kind of remind people or just provide an update or another explanation. But someone wants to know, how did we decide to come up with an Instagram page all about music?
Well, when we were first getting into the music, we were talking to each other, and we literally had a lot of great conversations, and we thought that it would be fun to share them with people. And I think that's how we were just like, we wanted a platform to share our conversations and what we thought, just like most people do nowadays. They want somewhere to kind of express themselves. And somehow we ended up with an Instagram page. That was before, that was right when when Instagram was budding. So we just made an Instagram. Would you agree? It's pretty much it. We just wanted a place to share it.
There's not really like an elaborate story, really.
We definitely didn't have any like goals.
There were no goals. I remember we were like, holy shit, could you imagine if we ended up getting 1,000 followers or something? And I certainly never thought that I would still be doing it. Like, I'm 25 now. I started when we were 20, I was 20 when we started it, and I didn't think we'd be doing a podcast. But it's interesting because as time has gone on, in my opinion, it has become progressively less and less about the music and more just about like ideas and like the emotions related to that music. And I know, we're working on a couple things to maybe talk about that further, but it is interesting how like music can be a window into a lot of those things. And for me, like my brain, like I love those like philosophical type things that you got to think about a lot. And music in a lot of ways is great at, bringing forth those questions and making you think in different ways. So I think that's what always keeps me coming back. It's not necessarily like, listen to this Mike McCready solo or something, or like, this is my favorite concert. It's just about like the emotions that the music evokes. So I think like for me, that's why the pages add longevity, is because it allows me to continue to explore those ideas and to continue to think about them in different ways.
Yeah. And it gives you kind of what I'm looking for, like a rebound, like, people, to talk with all the time and have like a conversation about it more often than not. It's a good answer.
It's interesting, to think about. But I mean, the origin story is never, that's never going to change. Obviously, I wish we had something more elaborate, where like someone. You know what? No, I don't think I do actually.
I love the.
Nothing is ever as extravagant as people want it to be.
I definitely like the. It's just like Kurt was thrown into fame. I like our story. Like, I like the idea of
I like that
beginnings.
We weren't trying to.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it would be different if we were like, we had this plan to really make it big. And, that would be awesome too. That would be a big success. But I like the other way around, because it just feels a lot more authentic in a lot of ways. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So this podcast is going to be released on October 22nd, which is just a short time before Halloween. So we had another question wanting to know if we're already planning Halloween posts. And I'll answer for myself right away, and that's fuck no, because I hate Halloween. I think it's a stupid holiday, and
that's right.
If it were up to me, I wouldn't even recognize it.
That's right. I forgot you hate Halloween.
Do you like Halloween?
Well, the question is, do I like Halloween? I mean, I do, in the sense that, like, I like the idea of, like, scary stuff, but, like, I never watch the scary movies that I want to, or I never do much Halloween stuff. So, like, it doesn't. I mean, it just kind of is not really. I don't really do much with it. Yeah, it's definitely irrelevant. But I don't know. I've always appreciated horror films, but I never watch them. So, like, I guess I'm a poser. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So what is even the Halloween post? What could we plan? Like,
there's no Halloween songs. What is it? Just Monster Mash, and that's a shitty song. I don't know what else there would be.
I wonder. I'll say, if we were to plan Halloween,
there's no subject matter.
I don't even know what. I don't even know.
There's nothing we can do with that. So I guess to answer your question, no, we haven't already planned our Halloween post because there's nothing to plan. And secondly, we're not going to have any Halloween posts because there's nothing to post in relation to Halloween. Actually, the only one thing that I would post is periodically over the years, we've gotten DMs of people's Halloween costumes that are grunge related. Like, there's one time these two dudes in college dressed up as Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell from, like, the Temple of the Dog era. Yeah, and I need to find that picture again because it was fucking awesome. But that's just about the only thing. Maybe we'll do that. We're like, hey, if you submit your Halloween costume, we'll share it. But, like, there's nothing else to do.
I got it. I'll post a pumpkin and say Happy Halloween. Yeah. If you guys want me to.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to. We'll say Happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah. If that'll make you happy, then I guess we'll do that. And then,
it's a good question, though.
There's nothing to it, but
I mean, it's just one of those holidays. It's like, I mean, I don't know.
It's like asking if we're going to do something for Groundhog Day, which there's more to do for that, at least. I would think. It's a whole movie.
Yeah. I guess there's a bunch of movies about Halloween, but that's funny.
It just doesn't make sense. We have another question.
These are good.
So we have another one, and I think you'll have more to contribute to this than I do. But someone wants to know our thoughts on the band Weezer.
Oh man, Weezer. Yeah, this is a good one, and I get not an interesting take, but I've loved them through high school. I love listening to them. I thought they were very, like, they had that nerdy punk rock, which was great. Really fun to grow up with and play. And then I saw them about 2 years ago. I caught their end of their set here in Alabama. And let me tell you, Chris, they've mailed it in. I think, like, their first few albums, they're just one of those bands. I mean, actually, our producer, Drew. So let me go back a little bit. I still really do like them. And some of their new stuff is good. But it's just one of those bands I have a hard time comparing their new stuff and their new performances and all that to their old stuff. And when we were in high school and Say It Ain't So, the Sweater song, like, those stuff was really iconic for when I was learning to play music. Actually, our producer, Drew McFadden, he has a credit on their, what song is it? On their,
it's off of the Van Weezer album.
Off the Van Weezer album, yeah. I can't remember how many songs he worked, but it was a few of them. So, and he has a nice anecdote that I think we shared on one of the early episodes. So he's worked with them, which is pretty awesome. But I remember seeing them and just they had to play the hits, and you could tell that they were, they were
on autopilot.
Someone told them they had to play certain songs. So,
well, here's the thing,
but they're great. They are great for me. I've always loved Weezer.
Yeah. So I've never, I don't think I've ever intentionally listened to Weezer. But I remember you sent me a video, I think, of the show that you sent, and I think it was a video of them playing Say It Ain't So, or maybe it was one from that tour. But, like, let me tell you, man, it is a privilege to have the ability to mail it in, because you got something to mail. Most of us don't have anything that we could just mail in and be like, whatever, But I mean, these guys, when do you think that song was last inspiring or enjoyable to play for them? I think it came out in 94, 95, and
yeah,
here we are,
that's almost
26 years later. Yeah.
Almost 30 years of the song. I don't know. I don't know how. I've always wondered how, like, songs age people and how they have to play it. But
and, like, in a way, like, I don't subscribe to the concept of, You know how a lot of people are dismissive of musicians or live performers or athletes or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, like, you know, this is they get paid so much money to do this, like it must be so easy, but like just grappling with the expectations. So for example, if Joe Smith from, you know, Fayetteville, Arkansas goes to a Weezer show, whatever, and that's his first time, and he loves Weezer, he's gonna hear, you know, he's been waiting his whole life to hear Say It Ain't So live. But like for Weezer, it's like the 432nd time they've played it live, you know? So it's just like the difference in expectations, and just like to be able to try and present it in such a way that someone who's been waiting that long for it is still going to get some enjoyment out of it. It's like the same thing of, you know, something that comes to mind is like, if somebody has always wanted to see LeBron James play, for example, but like they pick a game against Memphis in the middle of February or something, and it's just resting, like it's game like 55 of the, you know, so it's just like, it's always interesting for me because like for somebody out there in that crowd, whatever it is, like that is what they've been waiting for a long time. But to the person up there, the person on the field of competition, it's just, you know, they've done it hundreds or thousands of times. So it's always interesting. I don't necessarily know that it's fair to criticize people for, you know, for something like that, because for example, I don't know, if somebody were to come and watch me work every day, if I had a work fan and they wanted to come in and be like, I've wanted to watch you, but like, what if I want to mail it in that day, you know? I mean, like, I think we all do. So from time to time, but I don't know. It's always something that's been interesting for me to think about. Yeah.
And I think, I will say, I think Weezer has, they do have an incredible sense of humor that I think they've brought to everything. Because do you remember when they released Van Weezer, they posted about a fan mail that kind of got pissed off, and they were like, Van Weezer, what a terrible name. You might as well just call it Jared. That would have been at least a little bit funny. And so they were like, all right, guys, like, and like we're gonna retitle the album Jared for this guy, and it was pretty funny. They did the whole little thing. And I mean, it made me laugh. So, yeah, Weezer's great. You just gotta think the '90s version of Weezer in early 2000 was just prime.
Yeah, and, the gold rush is over.
Yeah, you know. I guess that's why I know what I was gonna say. I guess this is where the jam bands were onto something when they decided to make a million songs and not really give the people a chance to demand songs. They actually want quite the opposite. They want to hear songs they've never heard before. And they have the liberty to play whatever they want, and people find it to be, and they only play 3 or 4 songs a show. So, you know, that 12 song album lasts 3 nights. Like those guys, I still think that
it's great because they don't have to remember anything because it's all jam oriented. You don't know where your fingers are going to go on that fretboard next.
Exactly. I'm convinced that the jam band movement was genius for live shows. That's why they play so much, because
thank you, Bob Weir.
That's why they play so much, because they're not burnt out on touring, because they just do whatever they want and they play whatever song they want. So
and the people love it.
I'll say it, dude. Those guys are brilliant. Those guys are smart. Yeah. And that's why Bob Weir is still playing.
Yeah. Nobody asks Bob Weir to play like Teen Spirit every night, for example, and, you know, judges the entirety of this performance on, you know, someone's performance of one singular song. It's like, that's just like a consequence of fame, you know, and it's interesting to think about, but, you know, if you can break out of that, you know, like Pearl Jam at this point, like they've broken out of that because they've recorded for so long that I think people do kind of, you know, want to expect different things and want to hear different things. And that's got to be liberating as a performer and as a musician, you know, just to be able to, you know, feel validated to explore different areas. This will lead into our second to last question. So we're going to get back to the serial thing, but the second to last one is, this is actually a really good question. So someone asked, if Pearl Jam did an MTV Unplugged today, which songs would you like to hear performed? Because obviously at the time it was only 10. And that's one that I definitely have to think about, but it's oddly enough one that I would love to hear was from 10, and it would have been Release. I just think that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, Release would have been really, really good. Yeah, where would you start? I mean, it's funny, but I didn't see any of those songs live. But I guess are we assuming that we don't have the footage of this, the last one, or if we?
I think it's if they got another shot, like out of all of the, you know, discography since then. Is there something that, you know, we would like to hear?
Yeah, where do you sit on this? I'll let you go first.
You know, I definitely first of all, that set was incredible, and I think
Right.
I think that only happens in a time and space that it existed in then. I don't think it would be as special today. I don't think the emotion would be there just because things are different now. But, Release would definitely be on there. And I'm trying to think maybe, something off of Yield, maybe like, I think Given to Fly would be pretty cool. Maybe Unplugged a little bit. I'd love to hear like a Light Years in the original tempo. They've sped it up quite a bit since it came out, earlier. Maybe I'd love to hear something a little bit outside of the box that you wouldn't think would lend itself to being acoustic. So maybe even something like a Dissident or even Lucan or something. They have a slower version of Lucan that they've played before, but I always think it's interesting, musicians' abilities to recreate these really loud, expansive electric songs into something that's, a little different when they bring out the acoustic guitars. And I think obviously these guys would be able to do it. But their catalog is so big that it's really difficult to, bring forth a list of 4 or 5 off the top of my head that I'd be like, I would want to hear this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Nothing Man would be really good.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool. I'm trying to think. I do like the Dissident. That would be.
I just think it would be unique, because there's a lot of parts to that song that don't really lend itself to, to an acoustic setting. I mean, the whole main lick doesn't really. I struggle to kind of understand what that would sound like, but I don't know.
It would be really cool though. Yeah, I definitely like when bands take a, just a classic electric song, live song, and then they switch it up and make it totally acoustic and see what they do with it, because they know the song inside and out, so they could pull off the Dissident guitar intro,
right? Exactly,
in a great way where it wouldn't be,
yeah.
They wouldn't.
And these guys, I mean, they're so versatile, and I mean, they've been playing just how many hours of their lives they've spent playing these instruments. I'm sure they could create something on the fly, if they had to, and just, give something new life in that way, which would be really cool to see.
Yeah, that's a great question. I like that. The alternate,
and it would be interesting to do that with
maybe we can make an episode of that, and we can make an alternate. We can both make our own alternate Unplugged lists.
Yeah,
and we
could cool.
We could kind of talk about the episodes, but we could just be like, what do we want to hear? That'd be cool.
Yeah, and of course, even Soundgarden obviously never had the opportunity to play a proper Unplugged, so we could create one, from their, because their catalog and their style changed so much as time went on, from the 80s until Down on the Upside and then King Animal. So that would be interesting. I'd be interested to take some time and think about that. So
nice, good question.
Like a good exercise. So as I said, all of these questions, they are good, but they pale in comparison to the final question. So we're going to bookend the episode with serial questions. And this one, I'm not sure why this is something that our opinion has been asked about, but a couple of episodes ago, I think on the anniversary of Bad Motorfinger and Nevermind, we did Own, See, and Meet, which was basically like Fuck, Marry, Kill. So we have been asked to do our first ever Fuck, Marry, Kill. Okay.
Great.
And the 3 candidates are Tony the Tiger, the Lucky Charms guy, and the son on the Raisin Bran Crunch box.
Kill him.
Yeah, we just gotta kill him off right away.
I'm killing the son on the Raisin Bran box.
So then it comes down to so what do you think about it? Do you think about it as like, who do I marry first, and then the end result is just collateral damage, or like are you trying to secure the physical acquisition first?
Let's see. I mean, one is a leprechaun that has a lot of gold, so I'm gonna have to marry that man because
that's a good financial decision.
Yeah, financially, it's gonna set me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then Tony the Tiger, we're gonna get together, and hopefully Tony is short for like Antoinette or something like that. But yeah, so I'd probably kill the son.
Yeah. I don't think there's any debate that the son's going right away.
Yeah, I'd marry the leprechaun for the. Wait, does he have a name?
I don't think so.
And then me and Tony are gonna get it on, I guess. How about you, Chris?
Wow. Well, I'm in fundamental agreement that the son has got to go. It just doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit into any other scenario. I mean, you can't marry a son, and you certainly can't do other things with the son. I mean, you're not going to be long for this world if you do that. So, the son takes an early exit, and then yeah, it's tough because it's like, Tony the Tiger and the Leprechaun, the Lucky Charms guy. I definitely agree with you that there could be quite the financial windfall, and I could see a scenario where you take that windfall and then you just you hope and pray that the Lucky Charms guy isn't long for this world, and then you're a rich widow, and then you can kind of go about your day and about your business.
I will say the Lucky Charms guy does seem kind of annoying, so maybe.
Maybe not someone you want to share your life with, and that's the thing. This is what I'm talking about, because then it's like, so say like you get him out of the way right away, and maybe you steal some money in the process while he's while certain things are and exactly, and then you have
maybe
Tony,
they pay you, maybe he pays you to do
exactly. And maybe, and I just get the sense that for a household member. And a collaborator on various things. I think Tony the Tiger would be a little bit more reliable than the Lucky Charms.
Leprechaun, you can't
he
trust.
Sounds like he seems like he would be an asshole. And I don't know that. I don't think Tony would be an asshole.
You can't. You can't trust leprechauns. I think that's kind of common knowledge, right? I mean,
and like I don't have much, but like I feel like the leprechaun would embezzle. Something would happen. So I think I would say that, the sun's out right away, and I think I got to marry Tony.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad.
Unfortunately, you have to fill out the end of the card with, what must be
done.
Kids love
Tony, yeah.
They do love, so maybe be like a good father figure, maybe a good uncle for, the nieces and nephews around the family, and I think just somebody you might want to have around.
The leprechaun would definitely run out on you too if you tried to
exactly.
Marry,
you're just a placeholder. He's moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, you're not the only one looking. Either. Yeah, you're not the only one either.
Don't they? What are they? They're looking for the pot of gold. Yeah, they're not going to hang around. But that might not be a bad thing. As long as you don't sign the prenup.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to change my answer. I'm killing him. I'm killing that bastard. I don't even want to deal with it. Somehow I'm going to fuck the son, and me and Tony are going to live happily ever after. But I'm killing that damn leprechaun.
That is a monumental change. But honestly, it's one of those things, when you learn about a topic or you learn about somebody, and the more you learn about them, the less you like them. Or like you have like a friend of a friend, and like you're like, oh, they're fine. But then a week later, you've seen them a couple times out in a public setting. You're like, I really don't like this person. Yeah, that's how I feel about about the Lucky Charms guy.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works. So
yeah, that
was Is that the most unique question that we've answered on the podcast?
Yeah, that one's a good one. I wish I would have threw a different, maybe a different mascot instead of the sun, just because.
Yeah, the sun was just kind of.
It just didn't really make sense in a lot of ways, but yeah, that was a good one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that was quality, and here's the thing, like, there's not really anywhere else we can go there. From there, I don't even think we can do Song of the Week at this point after that discussion. But
I was going to ask a question, but I mean, it's just everything's all is different now.
things were so different then, and now they're just different. So,
if you are still listening, thank you. That's a good 45 minutes of banter. Hopefully it was entertaining. Sometimes this podcast, it's what it is. It's pure entertainment value. So that's why we go and answer questions and have some fun. But Chris, we got some exciting things on the horizon the next couple of weeks. Should we leave a little breadcrumbs and maybe we'll reveal our potential guests later, or what do you?
I think we reveal some breadcrumbs. So I guess the first breadcrumb that I'll drop from my pocket is the fact that we are at this point beginning to plan, and we will soon be conducting our first interviews for this podcast. I know that's something that has been, it's been asked about, it's been inquired about for some time, and it's been a goal of ours for a long time. But Ethan and I, we now feel that we're kind of at the point where I think we're comfortable enough, doing this thing together, and we're comfortable enough with our voice and just the flow of this podcast and what it's about that, now we can begin to work on that other area and develop our skills there, and just have some more stories and some more insights to share from you. So we've got I think as of right now, there's some certain individuals out there from different realms, obviously the music realm, the art and photography realm, the late night network television realm, and certainly the artist realm that I think we'll be covering all of those bases as time moves forward. And I'm definitely excited for this, and I'm sure you guys are excited to hear an additional voice other than just Ethan's and mine.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to let someone else talk for a little bit. I think that I know you guys love hearing us talk, but that will be a lot of fun to hear other people's perspectives. And like you said, I think we just wanted to hold off until we felt really comfortable doing this. And we've been doing this for about 6 months now, and we feel like we've really got a good stride. And because we didn't want to botch our interview. How bad would that be if somehow we secured like Jerry the first day and we're just like, and
we piss off Jerry.
Yeah, we do something and then, he blacklists us for forever. That would just be terrible. So now when we get Jerry Cantrell on here, we're going to be ready. And it's all going to start soon.
It starts now. So, in thinking about this, I hope, Ethan and I, we're definitely excited about this. I'm excited to plan for it, to kind of, think of questions and just to develop those relationships with people. So if you're excited about that and you want us to continue, to progress in that realm and to, really, really, really expand the latitude of people and really have this become a main part of the show, and if that's something you're looking forward to, please, take a minute and think about, supporting us in the different ways that we've said before. Obviously, the Patreon is there. The merch orders are continuing to come in, and we really appreciate that. There's a lot of listeners that have reached out to us that have said, I want to support this show. Here's a crew neck that I just bought. Like, I know it's not much, but it'll definitely help. And all of those things help out a lot. And just, maybe sharing the podcast or the page with a friend that that's interested in the music, and just, to kind of continue to grow that audience and, support us in those ways that, that encourages us to continue to do this, and two, obviously financially it's assistance for us to continue to do it as well. So we thank everybody that has done that so far. And if you're listening and you're on the fence, hopefully maybe this is the week that you decide to hop over that fence, and next week we'll be able to say your name.
Yeah, just remember that every time you like and subscribe or write a review, that helps other people find us easier. And that means just as much. So that means we're 1 week closer to having Jerry Cantrell on the show. That's right. That is exactly right. And if you remember this, Chris, when we hit, was it 1,000 subscribers, 500,000 follows, and what was the third prerequisite? I forget the third one. We'll have to go back to the first Q&A, but the Grunge Bible cover of Wood by Alice in Chains is looming in the distance. It is looming. It's out there. I'm gonna have to start to warm up a little bit, because we are closing in on that 500,000. We are closing in on that 1,000 or 10,000, whatever it was, and I think if we ever top the charts as a podcast, top the charts, who knows? A nice push by the viewers, and Grunge Bible has to hop in the studio and hash out a cover of Wood by Alice in Chains. So if that's motivating to you, then you know what to do. Awesome. Well, do you have anything in you to do the song of the week, or should we just scratch it, Chris? We haven't missed one yet. It's the Lucky Charms theme song. I was trying to think of some jingle I could use. I was thinking, probably the Rice Krispies, not Rice Krispies, the Rice Krispies have three little elves. Right? That would get a little crazy then. we should have just did that. You got three of them in there. I mean, that's a lot to handle. And Snap, Crackle, Pop, I think, are the names of those guys. Because, I mean, like three's too much, and I mean, that's a polygamous marriage. That's a I was thinking between the three of them, you have to kill Snap, Crackle, or Pop. Well, then you get the that might have to be that question might have to be dealt with at some point. But yeah, my song of the week, as I mentioned earlier, I've been listening to a lot of the Rolling Stones, and one song in particular I've listened to quite a bit, and I really enjoy it, and I've been listening to covers of it and just alternate takes of it, but that song and my song of the week would be Can't You Hear Me Knocking by the Rolling Stones. And I just really love Keith's open G on there, and
it's just super hard edge, and the choruses are great, and it's just a really, really cohesive song, and been listening to it quite a bit. So that would be my song of the week.
Awesome. That's a good one. Really good Stones pick for the week. Mine, I actually sent to you the other night, and it is by the Racoonteers. However you say that, the Racoonteers, right?
I think so.
And always hard to say for some reason. But the song
Jack
is
White's other band.
Yeah, the song is "Some Days," and in parentheses, "I don't feel like trying." And I sent it to her. It was a long day, and like I said, some days you just don't feel like trying. But the end of the song has this nice build where they say, "I'm here right now. I'm not dead yet." And I think that's a great anthem. And sometimes you just need to say that aloud and say it often. That I'm here right now. I'm not dead yet, and that we have a beautiful opportunity called today, and we got to take advantage of that every time. So, that's the song of the week for me. Just a little motivator, helps you out, and it's exactly what we're going to do for the rest of the week. It's going to go and kill it.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Well, Ethan, thank you for sharing that last hour with me, and to all of the listeners out there, thank you for also sharing in this time with us. And I think if there's one thing, any survivors of Grunge Bible Podcast episode 32, I don't think any of us will ever look at cereal boxes in the same manner again after today.
Safe to say. Yeah, that's safe to say. Awesome.
Well, that just about does it. So we will catch up with everybody next week on episode 33. Ethan, thanks again. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Chris. It's been a blast. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Rock and roll, everyone. Take care.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. Fuck it.
It doesn't do it for you. You were thinking about it.
I'll just have to get down close like this, but we're gonna worry about we'll worry about the aesthetics soon, not now.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, this is the wall. I gotta fuck up this wall and switch some things around and buy some shit. But for now,
I'm gonna get an iguana.
I want to get like a muskrat or something. I don't know.
Get a big aquarium for this for this fucking podcast.
I'm gonna knock this wall out. My bathroom's over here. I'm gonna knock the wall out so on either side, whether I'm in the bathroom or here, you can see the aquarium. That's what I'm gonna do. Need some sort of aquatic.
You wanna bring us in, Chris?
Yeah, I'll bring us in. I don't think I've brought us in a little bit. So I feel like I need to do that.
Today's the day.
Let's see if we got any more questions coming in. All right. Well, this is recording. I'm going to start my watch now. And,
That was him on.
All right.